สวัสดีครับในปีที่ผ่านมานั้นนะครับในรายการ Burin Journey เราก็ได้แวะเวียนมาที่ตึกขององค์การสหประชาชาตินะครับเพื่อที่จะมาถ่ายทอดความคืบหน้าของการจัดงาน Ambassador for a Day นั่นเองนะครับในวันสตรีสากลหรือ International Women Day นั่นเองและในปีนี้นะครับก็ได้มีการต่อยอดนะครับจัดโครงการนี้ขึ้นมาเป็นปีที่2นะครับแล้วก็ได้ข่าวมาด้วยนะครับว่ามีการขยายผลให้ใหญ่ขึ้นแล้วก็ในวงกว้างขึ้นด้วยแต่จะเป็นอย่างไรเราต้องมาติดตามกันในวันนี้ครับSo we learned that the coming of March will be your second year in Thailand and also the second edition of the Ambassador for the campaigns. So how these campaigns happen during your first year as well?
Thank you, Burin, and thank you very much for interviewing me. And it's lovely to be at the UN Conference Center, talking to you about the Ambassador Day program. I wanted to set it out in context. I landed in Thailand 5 days prior to the lockdown. So my perspective is very COVID-centric, And in my first year, I largely focused, as part of the United Nations, I largely focused on how we could repurpose our programming in response to the pandemic, to support the government to better respond to the pandemic. And we largely ended up focusing on greening the fiscal stimulus package, understanding how COVID impacts the most vulnerable. People living, migrants, people urban poor, women and young people as well, right? In my second year, that is in 2022, our engagement focused on co-creating the UN Development Cooperation Framework along with the government, private sector and civil society, which sets the framework of how UN agencies, the 21 UN agencies in Thailand,
we have 21 UN agencies in Thailand, quite a lot.
That's right.
So you want all of them to collaborate together?
That's right. That is what we focused on, how the 21 UN agencies would be guided by the priorities that are identified in the cooperation framework. Having said that, one common thread over the 2 years has been our engagement with young people, because we believe as the United Nations that young people have agency, and these are the people who have to find meaningful solutions to today's development challenges, whether it's issues of inequality, leaving no one behind, or climate for that matter, And the Ambassador Day program is part of that common thread, where we bring women ambassadors and heads of UN and women heads of UN agencies together to create opportunities for young people, women and men to engage with these top diplomats, to be inspired by them, and then use that inspiration to lead and contribute to advancing the SDGs. So that is where we are coming at it from, So I'm going to pause there.
So that's why you start as a campaign ambassador for a day. So what is the first year of the campaigns about? So what did you focus on the first year?
In the first year, Burin, the campaign focused on creating opportunities for young women and men to share their perspectives on any dimension of gender equality, any dimension, whether it is social, economic, environmental, and share their perspective on how gender equality impacts them as women or as men in their own families and communities, right? So that is what the campaign kind of focused on, and we encouraged all young people to join the campaign and either share a video of what they believe gender equality means to them, or put in a written essay on anything to do with gender equality. So that is what the campaign focused on. It was much more broadly defined as
see.
the campaign, as the second year of the
So
campaign.
before we be talking about the second year, let's talk about the success of the first year. How many application and how many participants during the first year, and what have they got from the campaign?
So, Burin, we got about a little over 100 participants signing up for the competition in the first year, of which we selected close to 40. And we gave these 40 young men and women the opportunity to shadow an ambassador or a woman head of UN agency. And from where I sit, I believe that the young people got an opportunity to see how the ambassador engages in everyday work with government, with private sector and with civil society. Right? They also got an opportunity to interact not just with the ambassador but the staff of the embassy or of the respective UN agency, right? And in my case, the two young women who were part of who were shadowing me, I understand that one of them is still in contact with our colleagues at the office, right? So it's a more longer term kind of a mentoring opportunity, an opportunity to build networks, as you say, and to have relationships cutting across the diplomatic community. I think that is what we attempted to create and created in the first year.
I see. I think, in my opinion, not just only the participants that can gain the benefits from the campaigns, but also all of the UN agency and all of the participant ambassadors as well, so they can have the opinion, have the mindset of the youth, what they're thinking about. Maybe they can adapt for the work in the future as well.
Absolutely. Burin, you are absolutely right. It's a big learning opportunity for the ambassadors themselves and the heads of UN agencies.